Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, August 15th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the next several days, we will not see significant impacts to fire potential across the Great Basin. As a cold front has moved through most of the area and stalled over central areas, we will continue to see some showers and wet thunderstorms with higher humidity over parts of mainly the central and eastern portion of the Great Basin over the next several days, with a general drying trend further north into Idaho and northern Nevada. Over the last 24 hours, we have seen thunderstorms generally over central Idaho into southwest Idaho and northwest Nevada, and then over the eastern half of Utah, with generally light amounts of precipitation. Some heavier amounts were reported in the Uinta Basin and Uinta Mountains. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen light initial attack across the Great Basin, with 7 new fires reported and only 1 new large fire over southwest Idaho. Precipitation over the last week has generally been above normal over parts of central and eastern areas of the Great Basin, and still above normal for the last 30 days over the southern half of the Great Basin due to the monsoon moisture, but still well below normal over the last month over the central Idaho mountains into southwest Idaho. How this has translated into our current fuel conditions, with the cold front that has moved through the northern half of the Great Basin, bringing cooler temperatures and some moisture, ERCs have decreased significantly even over the central Idaho mountains, but still remain above the 70th percentile. This is still the driest area of the Great Basin, being central Idaho into parts of northwest Nevada. 1,000-hour fuel moistures have come up slightly, but are still well below normal. 10-hour fuel moisture is driest now over the southern portion of the Great Basin and has increased significantly over southern Idaho into northern Nevada as those cooler temperatures and the showers and thunderstorms we saw the other day moved through the region. The satellite loop from this morning shows that area of low pressure now moving eastward across southern Canada and the northern Rockies, with the cold front trailing south from Wyoming back into northern Utah and central Nevada. We do have some light shower activity this morning over the southern half of the Great Basin, but no lightning to speak of at the present time. However, we will see some isolated thunderstorms develop near and south of that frontal boundary as we move through this afternoon. Much drier air has moved into Idaho and northern Nevada. Now looking at the weather pattern for today, again we will see some showers and thunderstorms generally over eastern Utah today, but also some isolated activity into Wyoming and possibly along the central Sierra. We have no significant fire potential impacts expected today as fuel moistures have come up due to the recent cooler temperatures and moisture that moved through with the cold front. Today, relative humidity will be driest along the Arizona Strip into southern Utah and over western Nevada, where humidity will drop into the lower teens. Winds today will not be as gusty as what we saw yesterday, but will still be somewhat breezy, especially across Utah and the Arizona Strip into far southern Nevada today, with wind speeds between 25 and 30 miles per hour at times. As we move into Wednesday, that frontal boundary stalls across the central areas of the Great Basin, so we still may see some isolated thunderstorms near that boundary over central and eastern Nevada, possibly up into northern Utah. Again, no significant fire potential impacts are expected with these storms. Relative humidity on Wednesday will look very similar to what we'll see today, and the image on the right shows again we're expecting those showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, generally near that frontal boundary, also into the central Sierra, generally south of the Tahoe Basin. On Thursday, we may see more of a break in activity. That frontal boundary is still stalled, but the deeper moisture has moved off to the east. Therefore, we'll likely see drying in most areas of the Great Basin. We even see some of our PSAs turning back to brown over central Idaho and along the Sierra front. Relative humidity will be decreasing, with relative humidity generally in the single digits to low teens over western and southern areas of the Great Basin. We may still see a few isolated thunderstorms over central and eastern Utah and along the central Sierra, but again, coverage on Thursday will likely be the day of the week where we see the least amount of lightning. The overall forecast amount of precipitation for the next 3 days shows generally, obviously, where we're expecting those thunderstorms. We could see some local areas of wetting rains. As we move into Friday into the weekend, we still have that boundary over the central portion of the Great Basin, so we will see some lightning activity start to pick up a little bit on Friday. However, again, not issuing any high risk as our fuel moistures are still relatively high. As we move into Saturday and the weekend, we'll see greater chances of lightning and we'll see that aerial coverage of the lightning expand. So on Saturday, again, that stretch from the Sierra through central and eastern Nevada into northern Utah will be the main focus of lightning, which will continue and also increase as we go into Sunday and early next week. We will see lightning coverage expand further north into Idaho finally on Sunday, and again, greater coverage across the Great Basin. We have not issued any high risk, but we will continue to watch the lightning, especially in some of the areas of western Nevada and central Idaho that will be drying out over the next several days. On Monday, we'll continue to see that lightning threat expand across most areas of the Great Basin. However, coverage may still be isolated to widely scattered. The overall forecast amount of precipitation for the next 7 days is generally tied to those areas of thunderstorms and will be highly variable. The 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us into the end of August, shows still warm temperatures in the west with generally below normal precipitation and will be very spotty and near any thunderstorm activity. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for listening.